believe in God the Father. I believe in Christ the Son. I believe in the Holy Spirit. Our God is three in one. Brother Billy, with another video, want to do a recap. Just finished watching Candace, episode 317, and this one was pretty good. And I titled this "The Walls Are Closing In." That's one of the things that Candace said in this particular um live that she was doing, and I can definitely see that. And one of the reasons I wanted to, just that kind of stuck out with me, because I remember when a lot of content creators they were encouraging Candace to like speed up and get to a conclusion and give us the give us a conclusion of what happened, what went down. I mean, just hurry and get to the nitty gritty. And I remember just kind of like, no, I like the way she's very methodical. I like the way she is just turning over every stone. I like the way we're able to follow this investigation from start to finish. And so the way she is doing this, there's gonna be no way out once this thing gets um completed. Once she gets to a full-blown conclusion, it's gonna be no way out because the walls are closing in on them, and they're panicking. They're panicking everywhere. They they're panicking. One of the things Candace says in this particular video we're gonna listen at, I don't know if we'll get to that part, but she was talking about how it was a very good point she made. Um, oh, what was that point she made about they have all this money um to pay everybody, to pay a lot of people to bash, to go after, to defame, to do this and that. They got the money to do it. And she was like, y'all got all this money, but why you're frustrated is because you don't have any influence. And I thought that was a very good point. They got all this money, but no influence. The people who are influencing America and even other countries who are listening to Candace and people like Baron Coleman, and I mean, you got all these YouTubers that a lot of people are giving ear to. They're more influenced by Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, than CBS, Fox News, CNN. That, and those are the people who got all the money, but can't seem to influence people like they want to. And boy, that makes wicked, evil people angry. And I'm fighting a cold. If I got a cough, I gotta remember to use that mute button because I'm learning how to be professional. So now let me get into I don't want to make this video long. I'm gonna get into this clip. This is actually Candace's opening statement, and we're gonna listen at this together and respond to this because this is excuse me. This is Candace. Um, this is Candace actually laying out the case for the anger, the panic, and most in particular this detail that she had, excuse me, that she focused on and it never did sit well with her. And some of the details she come up with, I mean, like, I mean, okay, well, yeah, what's the big deal with that? The tarmac hug. The tarmac hug is turning out to be, ooh, so significant. But to me, I was like some of the other people. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the verdict. Let's get to. But these particular details that she seems to zero in on don't seem that hot for us. It don't seem like, oh, that's. But that tarmac hug now, man. She's gonna pull up Baron, and we're gonna hear what Baron says. Why this matters. I didn't see the connection with it. I'm like, oh, okay, they're hugging. I mean, what? You know, what? That's a big deal. If it went down the way Candace and Baron is suggesting, that's a very big deal. Why is that a big deal? Well, we'll let Baron tell you when we get to the end of this clip. Candace going to open it up and let us know.
All right, this episode is brought to you by Knick Knack, a dissolvable nicotine pouch that is perfect when you need a quick no-fuss moment during a police scanner from that day wherein it is mentioned that a Sergeant Dupay was going to pick up Erica Kirk from Provo Airport. So let's take a listen to that.
Confirming this channel is secure.
Negative. Provo main channel is not secure.
My apologies. I was just saying, is service channel able to be scanned, or can I give information over this channel?
You're good. We unpatched the service channel, so this is just Provo service. Go ahead and talk.
This will be info for IC. Myself and Sergeant Dupay are en route to Provo Airport. Victim's wife is arriving at 3:30.
2J 436.
436. Go ahead.
Was there a ATL sent out?
Okay, and obviously we just have AI telling you what it said there. When they say 436, they're not talking about the time. They're probably talking about the police cruiser number, whatever. But 3:30 is when that pickup is scheduled for. So basically we can conclusively confirm that Erica did not wait an hour on the tarmac for Andrew's alleged plane to land at about 4:40 p.m., right? 3:30 was the pickup. So this only makes sense if Andrew was aboard Charlie's plane with Erica. Okay. For some reason, maybe I had and I just forgot, but for some reason I feel as though I did not consider the most obvious answer to how this tarmac hug took place. Gratefully, you guys at home are smarter than me a lot of the times, and you can see what's right in front of me sometimes when I cannot. The tarmac hug obviously had to take place in Scottsdale. It's the only thing that makes sense. Of course it did. It did not happen in Provo at all. It happened in Scottsdale. And I feel tremendously confident about that now because of what Andrew said to me on the phone. He said he was alone on the plane, but he also said how he had acquired all of this anxiety. He said everyone was messaging him, asking what was going on, and he had no one to talk to. And this is the most crucial part. He told me that he didn't know what was going on. So he's fielding all of these questions from people, myself among those people, by the way, regarding Charlie, and he didn't know what was going on with Charlie. He didn't know the answer. Well, there was only 1 hour, not even 1 hour, when he didn't know what was going on with Charlie, okay? Before they were all made aware, and I mean like the core team, the infrastructure at Turning Point, that Charlie had died. You got about a 40-minute window where he did not know what was going on, where he couldn't answer questions. The only time frame that he didn't know what was going on with Charlie was in that immediate aftermath of Charlie being shot, which is the exact time that the Santa Barbara flight takes off and heads for Scottsdale. Andrew Coet was aboard this flight. I feel very confident stating that. If he comes out and says he wasn't, I'll adjust, right? But looking at all the facts, let's think about it. The flight takes off 5 minutes after Charlie is shot, okay? I feel we can bet that Andrew was on it because he is messaging a bunch of people. Like I said, I was one of the people that he was messaging. I messaged him at 12:40 Mountain Time, so a little under 20 minutes after Charlie got shot. And I said, please say he's okay. And Andrew Colvett replied and said, I don't know. Shot for sure. And then at 1:19 p.m. Utah time, Andrew said to me, he has a pulse, but I know nothing else. So he doesn't know anything else at this time.
And so let me interject. You know, the question that has to be asked and answered is, why the lies? I mean, if Andrew was actually not on the plane that he said he was on and not traveling during the time, and if all this stuff is not correct, why the lies? What would be the purpose of these? You know, again, these lies seem like little lies. This tarmac thing didn't seem like a big deal to me when when Candace was bringing it up. But now, when we get to Baron Coleman and Candace is this what they're suggesting. Wow, that would if this is true, that he was on this plane with Erica and not by himself like he's like he put out. Wow, now I see why they would be lying about this situation.
This is the only plane that Andrew could have been on, whereupon he did not know. Okay, we have to stress that this is the only plane. The plane from Santa Barbara to Scottsdale is the only plane that fits the description that of Andrew not knowing what is going on with Charlie. Now, Erica claims that he was on the flight that landed at 4:30 p.m. into Provo. She's lying. Erica's always lying, okay? And she's definitely lying about that because
Now, excuse me, again, I'm fighting a cold. Now, that statement that Candace just made is for those of you who you just can't stand Candace Owens. I mean, you just feel like she is just, oh, why don't she just go away and leave this grieving widow alone? This Christian grieving widow, Erica Kirk, with these babies, and Candace is just running her name all through the muck and murray. Oh, Lord. That is not what Jesus would do. Okay. Anyway, when Candace made that statement a while ago, Erica Kirk is always lying. Which one of you can prove her wrong? Is that a statement of fact? Is that a statement of truth? Or is she bearing false witness against Erica Kirk? Which would be slander, which is against the Bible, which would make her demonic. That would be demonic. Is Erica Kirk always lying? Yes or no? And if you've been following this case, like I have definitely been following it, and you claim to be a Christian, like I claim to be a Christian, and you say, no, Erica Kirk has been truthful, very, very truthful, you the one with the demon. You are a lying demon if you say that. I ain't tell you to like Candace. I ain't tell you to hate Erica. Just as Christians, we gotta be truthful. Erica Kirk is a pathological liar. That was a statement of fact. Truth does not care about your feelings. The quicker you realize that, the better off you'll be.
as Andrew would have known that late that Charlie was dead. He would have known what was going on. That could not have been the flight that Andrew Colvett was on, because the entire world at that moment knew what was going on with Charlie Kirk. They knew that Charlie Kirk had passed away. And Andrew actually himself confirmed how soon he found out. He put it at about between 30 and 40 minutes after Charlie had been shot, which is about the time frame that Erica is going to learn that Charlie did not make it, was around the time that he learned that Charlie had died. Take a listen.
How long did it take before you knew he had died?
There was I don't know, I want to say probably 30 or 40 minutes.
Okay.
So there was a report.
Fast.
There was a report. Yeah, it was before. I knew before Trump put the Truth Social out.
Between 30 and 40 minutes. Okay. 30, 40 minutes after Charlie gets shot, he knew that Charlie did not make it. So the story goes that Andrew took off right after Charlie got shot from Santa Barbara. He received the news while he was in the air that he did not make it, that Charlie died. He therefore, being on this plane by himself, had a lot of pent up emotion, just like he told me, and no one to speak to aboard the flight. Some heavy news to take and to accept and to digest while you're aboard the flight. And then he touches down in Scottsdale. And Erica is the first person that he sees when the plane doors open. And he releases all of that pent up energy, people fielding, asking questions, is he okay? And then finally learning that Charlie Kirk is dead in a hug with Erica. This is why Erica cannot answer whether or not his wife was on the plane, because this hug took place in Scottsdale, and Erica's wife was not, Andrew's wife was not present for that. So I am surmising that the TPUSA core crew all gathered at Scottsdale Airport.
And why would Erica not remember? I mean, how can you or I even? I mean, I know she might have been up on a whole lot of stress and all that stuff, but to me, there's just, I can't think of a way that if this guy's wife was with him, Andrew, how Erica would not have known that or remember that. How is that possible? I mean, I know she might have been stressed out, she's a grieving widow. But under what scenario would without trying to just throw her under the bus, she would not have known or remember that it was Andrew and his wife that greeted her or met her on that tarmac. She's lying. She's lying. She does remember. Like Candace says, she's a liar.
Okay. They all met. That was a meeting point at Scottsdale Airport after Charlie Kirk got shot. And let me tell you why this deeply matters, why I was not letting this go. Okay.
Now we about to get into the fact, the thing that I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Now I see, Candace, why this is a very important piece of information here. Didn't really seem that significant to me. But now I see. You're about to see too. She's about to pull up the clip from Barron and help us understand why this meeting on this tarmac is so important. And this is why we can say the walls are closing in. Oh, they're getting squeezed. They're getting squeezed with no way out. With all that money and no way out.
Why I'm like a dog with a bone on this detail. Actually, I'll allow Baron Coleman to tell you why it matters.
Why does this matter? Great question. Here's why it matters. Because if Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, then there was a plot to kill him. That's why it matters. If Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, there was a plot to kill Charlie Kirk. And Andrew knew about it. That's why it matters. In my opinion, it is evidence that that might have been the case and that they've been lying to us the entire time. That's why it matters.
Precisely, Baron.
problem.
It matters because it suggests, it does not conclude, okay, but it suggests certainly that there may have been some sort of a foreknowledge, because for what other reason would Andrew be sitting on a tarmac just about to fly to Scottsdale when Charlie gets shot? For what other reason would he be taxiing on a runway? Because that's what it would have had to been. I think it takes off 5 minutes after Charlie shot. So you have to be taxiing, right? When Charlie gets shot. Now, if I was playing devil's advocate, and it's good to play that, but you should remember that you are therefore advocating for the devil, I would say, well, turning points in Arizona. Maybe, he did the first hour of his show live, and maybe he had a meeting or something. His PR team's there, a lot going on. It's the beginning of the tour. Maybe he was just actually traveling to Scottsdale. But if that was the case, they wouldn't be hiding it.
Right.
This would not be something to hide or to lie about. Right? You would just be like, oh, yeah, I hugged Erica on the tarmac when I got to Scottsdale. It's crazy. It's crazy coincidence. I was like flying to Scottsdale and Charlie got shot. You come right out with that. So yeah, I am suggesting that they all met up at Scottsdale Airport. My very strong opinion is that is what transpired on that day based on the evidence that is sitting before us.
Okay. So now we can see that the walls are closing in. This thing is getting tight. It's tightening up around them. And with all of that money, with all of that power, with all of that ability to pay these different YouTubers to spew their propaganda, none of it is helping them out. You got this YouTubers. Candace is a big name. I mean, Candace is like the biggest thing on YouTube, one of the biggest. Baron Coleman. I mean, just got a lot of people just putting the pressure, and I believe they're being used by God to squeeze, to press, to close the walls in around these liars, these wicked, evil people, and expose them for what they done to Charlie Kirk. That's what I see happening. The walls are closing in. And you can run TPUSA, but you can't hide. God knows what happened to Charlie Kirk. And he's exposing it, in my opinion, through Miss Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, and all these other YouTubers that, it's like enough is enough. We're not going to accept these lies. We're not going to accept. This is the most egregious part to me. We're not going to accept these false, fake Christians using the name of God to try and manipulate and gaslight us. That is the most egregious part. They are using Christianity, they're using God, the Lord, to manipulate us. Or to try and manipulate us. And I despise that the most. I despise that the most. And you should too, as a Christian. Okay. So that's what I wanted to. That's my recap on Candace Owens episode 317. The walls are closing in. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all be blessed. I'll see you again on the next one. Brother Billy is out.